and welcome back to
Bunso Bites.
I am your host, Ami43.
And I am your co-host, Chiggy.
And it is a new year. Are you excited, Chiggy? It is now 2025. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's a new year, but, I've been alive long enough that everything just meshes together. So whether it's a new year, new decade, new century, it really doesn't matter to me.
So I guess we have experienced all of those things in our lifetime. But I agree. As you said, it's not necessarily that a new year is not less meaningful, but I feel like as you get old, I mean the old adage, the old adage of I don't know what I'm saying, of as you get older, time just flows a lot faster in different ways, and like we're not counting our years by school years or anything like that. We're kind of just living life at this point in our life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it feels a new year, yes, comes with new things and new changes, but maybe not necessarily to the same weight or degree as it did when we were younger, or it does maybe, because we've experienced it more. All that being said, on today's episode, I wanted to talk about New Year's resolutions. I mean, I know it's really cheesy, right? Everyone is gung-ho for, okay, it's a new year, I'm going to change my habits. And I don't think there's anything wrong with New Year's resolutions. I think it's a nice reset and reminder, I guess, or like a mental reset and reminder of like, oh, okay, well, I may have, goals, and it kind of reorients you towards those goals. What do you think about New Year's resolutions, Chicky?
I mean, New Year's resolutions, I don't really set one for myself.
Yeah.
But this year, I definitely think that I should set one with you so that we can do it together.
Oh, that's cute.
But yeah, a lot of New Year's resolutions, they die out within the first month. So it's something that if we do set, we do need to continue to work on throughout the entire year.
Yeah. Well, and also the benefit would be if we did one together. I have no idea what he's talking about, to be fair. I don't know what this New Year's resolution is that he's mentioning, but if you do one with another person, or, in our case, like, your significant other, it's nice because I guess we could keep each other in check in a lot of ways.
Of course.
Like, what is this? I'm curious. What is this New Year's resolution you want to make with me?
So,
this is my first time hearing about this, so.
My first New Year's resolution with you would to be to continue to work on this channel that we've created, Bunso Bites.
Yeah.
And so, we'd continue to create episodes, release them on a weekly basis, so that us as a couple are working together, working with our communication, and then as well as giving you guys content to watch, and just bettering ourselves.
Okay. Yeah. And I think in a lot of ways, it's going to force a routine, right?
Correct.
So like we're forced to, let me not say forced. That's not the correct word, but it encourages us on a weekly basis to be like, okay, we have to sit down and record, which is kind of, as I said, it was the first or second episode when I was talking about us establishing Bunso Bites.
Yeah.
It's this way for you and I to sit down and talk, which in so many ways, because Chiggy and I lead independent lives in a sense of we both have full-time jobs, we both have different responsibilities to our families, financial, social, whatever it may be, our friends, and trying to be intentional about our time as a couple and our time just, not taking each other for granted in a lot of ways, which is why I'm really excited about this project and this channel personally. And so I think that, I like that. I like that your New Year's resolution is our channel. That's really,
of course. I mean,
that's cute.
This is not only just a passion project of ours, we could use it as something that we can pass along to our kids in the future. So be like, hey kids, this is what we did 10, 20, 30, how many ever years ago.
Oh gosh.
And be like, oh, this is how we started, and this is how we are now. We can look back and see how our views have changed, or how we as a person or as a couple have changed, and just look back at things that we've recorded in the past.
Yeah.
So That's one thing. Also, you know, I also see this as a business opportunity as well, because of YouTube. You know, as you hit the milestones or the prerequisites to be monetized, it can also become a source of income, whether that be, you know, a couple of cents on the dollar, or, you know, if and ever we blow up, you know, that could be our full-time jobs. But you know, just starting small. I'm just saying, just starting small, you know, this could be something that we could rely on as a side income.
Yeah, yeah. I always just see that as like a, oh, that would be a bonus. That'd be like a nice added thing. Because again, for me, this is genuinely, I've loved social media for so many years. I studied it. I was in that business for a long time, and so doing it myself now is a fun, like you said, it's a fun passion project, and doing it with you, even better. But yeah, no, that's really cool. I like that. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's cute. I like that. I think it'll be, yeah, it's I think it's a good way to approach this new project and chapter and year. So that's nice.
So now that I've shared one, what would be a New Year's resolution for you or for us?
So mine is gonna sound so lame after yours was so endearing and sweet.
And
mine, and you know, everyone is always on the, oh, I want to be healthier, or I want to be a better version of myself. And for me, I think as I've gone through the things that I had to go through in the past year, and Chiggy can attest to this, I really want to go back to, and by going back, I mean, I kind of like what I was saying earlier. I feel like New Year's is a good time to realign, and I think I want to realign back to the things that I enjoyed before, or like the how I was before. Towards the end and middle and end of last year, my work life balance got tipped very, very heavily towards the work side, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think, you know, as ambitious people ourselves, being career driven isn't necessarily bad, but when that happened, my mental health took a very noticeable turn. And so at the end of last year, it's a process, because there are things that are just out of my control with my work situation. But as I've like meditated on it personally, I really want to go back to having a better work-life balance, in a sense of I want to intentionally make more time for things that I enjoy. And if you know me, or if you don't know me, I really love crafting and making things and DIYing things.
Oh yeah, of course.
I taught myself how to sew during the panini, and I want to go back to doing stuff like that. And great example, I hung out with a good friend of ours the other day. We bought puzzles, and so it's like I want to do things like that. Like I want to intentionally have time to play games, do puzzles. I want to go back to playing. I want to finish Super Mario Odyssey, like actually finish it. I want to go back to making clothes and DIYing things. I want to make things. I want to work on projects for the kids that I take care of, things like that, in a more intentional way, where I limit how much work consumes my mental and emotional state, so that I can pour those things into things that I love and enjoy.
Okay.
I think I've always had the mentality that what I work for is a means to live, and you know, those are my different purposes of living, if that makes sense. I mean, outside of spiritual things and faith and stuff like that, but I really love making things. I love making things for other people. That's something that brings me contentment in life, and I want to intentionally go back to that, whether that's small gestures or like really, really big things. That's not really the point. It's kind of just genuinely like going back to working with my hands and doing things and being creative, truly and genuinely being creative. Bunso Bites is a great example of this, where it's like the amount of time and effort that we're dedicating to this, again, passion project. It's like it fuels me in a different way. So even if I'm physically tired from staying up late because we have to edit, or we have late recordings because we're busy, it fills my cup in a different way. And so this year I want to be more intentional about how I allot my time and efforts, because I feel like that's important, especially for me. I get so imbalanced so quickly, and so I think that if I try to be more intentional about my time and what I spend my effort in, it'll help me feel more balanced overall. Obviously I'll have up and down days, but if I can have a season that's like within the same range, that'd be great. So yeah, I feel like that was a very selfish one after what you said.
Oh, that's fine. I just wanted to say that I will personally hold you accountable to that New Year's resolution, only because Ami has started many projects before but hasn't completed any.
Yeah.
So like I remember when she would sew and she bought a sewing machine. She also has a big dress form that she no longer uses really, but it's just used to like hang stuff up now. And so like I know you've made dresses before.
Yeah.
I think 2 at least.
Oh, like a couple, 5 or 6.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you've also made like little handbags that you can carry around, and
I love
like
making tote bags.
yeah, those tote bags that you can carry around, and then you can put them into like a little square
You
so
can
that
fold them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've only seen you make a couple of those as well. And so I know you've taken sewing classes this past year. I want you to continue to strive to make new things and hone your skills in sewing and creating new things. So I will hold you accountable to that.
Oh,
because
that's actually really
we
sweet.
have these things and it's just going to waste as they're just sitting and collecting dust.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, but I think it's, as you said, I think being intentional about it. Like you said, I have it. I have stores and stores of fabric, which I'm so excited about. I very intentionally will buy fabric thinking, oh, I'm going to make this. Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do with the fabric. And I have so much fabric, but I haven't made all of the projects.
Yes, you do have a lot of fabric.
And granted, I mean, that's how, if you're a crafter, if you're a DIYer, I know a lot of us are notorious for starting projects and maybe not necessarily finishing them, or like getting them to a point where you're like, okay, you get stuck, or you don't know where to go, for the next step. But I think just it really is more about just being intentional about in my spare time and on the life side of my work-life balance, doing that stuff because I love doing it.
All right. I will give you credit though. You are very well at giving gifts to others as well as making activities for the kids.
Yeah.
So that is something that you do excel at.
I think it's just because I love doing it.
Yeah, you really do. Like without fail, every New Year's, you give out presents to everyone.
Well, okay, but because I have learned recently that one of the ways that I feel that I'm a valuable friend is by giving gifts.
Right.
I don't know if that's an indication of something with my mental health, but I genuinely feel that I love the feeling of when I give someone a gift, and I am very intentional about those gifts. So I feel like when I give someone a gift and it's something that I know, like it's very catered to that person, or I try it to be within reason, right? We have so many friends and there's only so much you can buy.
Right.
but within reason, I try to ensure that, okay, this is catered specifically for them. And I, I think something that it stems from as well is that when I first moved away from my parents and I was like on my own for the first time, well, on my own, I live with family still, but on my own in a sense of I didn't have the security nest of my parents. I remember feeling that weight of the independence, or I don't want to say loneliness because that sounds so sad, but there was a degree of loneliness when you leave the nest for the first time and you have to figure things out on your own. And we have a lot of friends who are in similar stages of their life, and so I guess for me, I know how nice it was when I had my family and my friends at the time, giving me gifts and making me feel like I really wasn't alone, or like I wasn't forgotten in a lot of ways. So I think that's like a big driving force for me. And I want people to know that I care about them, and so by giving them a gift, especially something that I've tried to put a lot of thought into, then I hope that they feel that way.
Okay.
As their friend. I don't know. So back on the topic of resolutions, I was wondering, Chiggy, you mentioned it earlier, but and actually this is kind of the reason why I wanted this to be an episode. I recently learned that there is something called Quitters Friday or Quitters Day. I just googled it because and it was like a reel or something that I found. Yeah, it's called Quitters Day, and Quitters Day is the second Friday after New Year's. And I'm just generalizing. I don't really know. I literally just learned this like this week, but it's the concept of people start their New Year's resolution, and by the second Friday they're done. And I'm going to generalize by saying that it's probably health and exercise and diet based.
Yes.
So I wanted to bring that up. But well, you brought it up earlier when you talked about resolutions, but I wanted to bring it up. Has there ever been? I mean, well, you say you don't necessarily do resolutions, but like, has there ever been a time where like you started and then you just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. So this also is a segue to my second New Year's resolution.
Okay.
So back 2 years ago, I went on a really drastic change in my diet. That's to battle my ongoing struggles with gout. And so I had to take out all of carbs, all of the sugars that I was eating, and just take it out of the diet. And so
You did cut cold turkey, yeah.
Yes, I went cold turkey, and I did that for a good 2 months.
Yeah.
And that in that process, I was able to lower all my bad levels of like my A1C and my sugars and all that.
Oh, okay.
And
from like your blood work. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
And it went down to a little bit higher than normal level, but it was at a good state. I could have continued on and lowered it even more by continuing with that diet, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is already a good change for me. I've lost, maybe 20, 25 plus pounds.
And you lost it very quickly.
Yes.
The weight fell like, it almost seemed like overnight, to be honest.
Right. And so now that I'm back onto eating whatever, whenever, one of my New Year's resolution would be to go back onto that diet, try it again.
The cold turkey diet, really?
Yeah, and lose the weight. But I also want to do that with you.
Oh.
Because I know you try to do that with me, but then you've also stopped like within the first week.
Well, okay. So I'm gonna be real with you. Can't do the cold turkey diet. Can I do a modified diet?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Cannot do the cold turkey diet. I don't know how he did it. He literally ate lettuce and cabbage and chicken.
Yeah, just salads and meat.
Yeah, but essentially chicken and lettuce for 2 months. And I can't do that. I don't know. again, I'm going to just generalize because I see a lot of things, everyone does, but I see a lot of things online where it's like, because physiologically we are so different as man and woman, it's just not quite the same. Because even if I were to go on the hardcore cold cut turkey diet that Chiggy went on, I don't think that I would have the same results. If anything, I would just become sad, and it wouldn't help at all.
That is I guess a side effect of doing that.
Yeah.
Because within like the first 3 to 5 days of you going into that, you'll have a lot of withdrawals.
Yeah.
You'll have hunger pains.
Yeah.
You'll have all
you're
these.
just eating lettuce is water,
Yeah.
like
You'll have all types of cravings.
Yeah.
But it's a mental game from there.
Yeah.
Of trying to ease away from it and just not eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've actually tried doing that at the start of this year,
Mm-hmm.
which failed within the next couple of days,
Yeah.
only because when I was at work, I would eat my salads and not eat any carbs.
Right.
But then there was a team outing that I was like, oh, I'm getting free food. Okay, I'll eat whatever they have.
Say no to free food.
And so we went to a Japanese place, and there was hibachi.
Okay.
And of course, hibachi, there's rice and
rice,
there's
veggies, and
rice,
meat.
veggies,
Yeah.
and meat. And so everyone got hibachi. And I was just like, well, I don't want to be the only odd one out and just get a salad.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get chicken hibachi.
Yeah.
So I ate it like 2 days after going into the diet. And so I was like, okay, well, try again next time.
Yeah.
And then, the week after, I tried again. I brought a salad with me this time, and I was like, okay. I also even had celery sticks and peanut butter. And
celery sticks are good because they're so satisfying. So it satisfying like to crunch on, so you feel like you're eating, even though really you're just crunching
the crunch
on
is
water.
good.
Yeah.
But the taste is so bland.
So bland.
And so that's why I had the peanut butter.
Yeah. Yeah.
To give it some taste.
And
but,
the protein.
Yeah. I think I went another 2 days doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, well, I think you had cooked dinner for me.
Can I also preface this? Because I was about to say, if this comes up that I cooked dinner. There was a period of time where I was at a friend's house because I was taking care of her pet while she was out of town. And generally, like normally, Chiggy and I will do dinner where I cook him dinner. I did not know until today, until right now, that he was even attempting these diets because, and I will say word for word, you were talking to me about how, oh yeah, I missed you because I don't have any good food.
Yes,
so then I
that
made
is correct.
So then I made what did I make? What was it? When I
you cooked ribs.
Yeah, I made ribs. I made like Chinese style ribs, and so we had it with rice. I didn't know he was on a diet until now, and now I'm just like, okay, now I'm gonna look like a butthead because I didn't support your goals or whatever.
No, that's fine. Like I intentionally made sure to not let you know what my diet was.
Yeah.
Because you were not cooking me like food every day.
Yeah.
And so I went back and try to do that cold turkey diet. Because that's something I know I could do and make for myself.
Yeah.
But that day when you made the food, I was like, I'm going to throw this away right now. Because I was like, I want rice. And so, yeah, at some point this year, I want to make it a point for us to try and do this cold turkey diet together.
You will do the cold turkey diet, and I will do a modified version
cold turkey
of it.
diet. Okay, that's fine with me.
Yeah, and I'm speaking solely for myself. I cannot speak for others. Food for me is not just a fuel for my body, but it's also in a lot of ways. I have a lot of emotion and things attached to it due to like previous histories of things, and so I don't mind limiting certain things. I cannot cut things from my diet though. Personally, I've just had too many issues with it from before, and you know me now. I love cooking, so you know, if anything, it's actually really nice to be able to think of, especially because I love cooking, experimenting or thinking of different ways to have the things that we do enjoy, foods that we enjoy, but maybe in a not as unhealthy way, or like finding, you know, substitutes for our carbs, and like, oh, okay, well, let's try vegetables this way. We literally went to the farmer's market yesterday and I got parsnips, which I've never cooked with, and I'm so excited because there's a couple recipes I want to try with parsnips, and I know that they're good parsnips because there was it snowed here recently, so parsnips are only sweet after the first snow, and since we actually had snow, I'm like, oh, that means they're going to be sweet parsnips, so I'm very excited.
Yes. And I just also want to add that you also bought some cinnamon rolls from this Amish bakery, which I know for certain I'm going to have some and will not start my diet until after we finish those pack of cinnamon rolls.
Shout out to the Amish bakery down the street.
Yes. You guys are great.
They make the best cinnamon rolls. Like, they genuinely make the best cinnamon rolls. No, I think that's really, really good in the sense of, it's something that you know you can do. It's something that, let me rephrase that. Not only is it something you know you can do, it's something that you have done where you were successful at it, and it did do wonders for your health. Like, I want to make that very, very clear. We're not out here trying to be skinny minis. We know that we are chunky people, like through and
Heck yeah, fat people for life.
Well, we've always been chunky. I mean, even for me, wasn't that the first thing your dad said to me? Are you sure that's I know, isn't that family skinny or whatever? Like, that was like the first thing he said. And it's because my family is notoriously skinny, and I'm just not. Like, I've never been, even when I was younger. Like, I've always been just taller and broader, and it's like, okay. And I really like food. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, since it is a diet or a habit that you know that you've done before, and you know it does a world of wealth for your health. I think that's really, really good. Do you intend on doing it again, just like for like a couple months and then seeing how your blood work is, or is it something that you want to do more long term? Like, how do you think you're going to approach it this time?
Well, I at least want to set the goal of doing 2 months, because that's how long I did it last time.
Yeah.
And so if I meet that goal for 2 months, I'll be satisfied. Whether I continue or if I just quit after that, I will be satisfied. Would I like to have it prolonged throughout the year? Sure.
Yeah.
Am I going to hate it? Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll play it by ear. After the 2 months, we'll see if I want to continue on. If you're still in good spirits in doing that, but
or if anything, maybe after the 2 months, you would kind of do more similar to what I'm saying, like something a little bit more modified.
Right.
Because I really genuinely think the 2 months is almost like your friend does it all the time. It's like a cleanse almost. Like, you're rotating your body through limited and very specific types of calories so that it could kind of flush out the negative numbers, and you can lose a little bit of weight. And then once you're at a place where your numbers are good again, then you can introduce, maybe not necessarily, introduce different things back in a moderated fashion. Because, and I don't think that would be hard for us to do, since we, for the most part, are pretty in control of the things that we eat. Like, it's not like we're ever trying to look for, or we have a specific type of limitation on what we eat. So I think that's fine. That's good. That's really great, actually. I'm excited for that, for you to do that, because I remember how when you got your results back, it was a very uplifting feeling for you and for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So like 2 years ago when I made the decision to go on that diet,
Yeah.
like I was crying when I came home, and I was like, I need to make a change in my life.
Yeah.
And you know, after the 2 months, people are just like, you look very different.
After a month, all the aunties were like, you've lost some weight.
Yeah.
And you were, what I will say, Chicky is he was really slick about it. He was just like, oh, just a little bit. Like he would like be like, oh, it's nothing. Like he would brush it off his shoulder. And then when he finished his second month, and then it wasn't until he got the results back that then he kind of he was so proud of himself in a lot of ways. And then, you would tell them like, oh, this is what I did and this is that, the other. But like in the process of, you definitely, it's that thing of you kind of keep your head down until the results are there type of thing. So, for sure, like within a month it was noticeable, but then after the 2 months, when you got those results back, it was obvious in a good way.
Yeah. And so with the change of hand,
Mm-hmm.
are there any personal New Year's resolutions you have, such as exercising or anything health related for you as well?
Yeah, I think, and I was really fortunate that it fell into my lap, but I also have enjoyed it so far. I want to be more intentional about including, and the way I'm trying to approach it is it's a time thing. So I want to have 30 minutes to an hour to do some type of activity, we'll say, because I don't want to call it exercise. I don't want to whatever. The first couple weeks of the new year, it was when I was walking our friend's dog. And I had to walk our friend's dog obviously you have to walk your dog every day, or walk the dog every day. It's not our dog, but our friend's dog. And our friend's dog is very energetic, so I had to walk her every day. And I made it work though. For the longest time, I was always concerned about, I don't have time. But somehow, all of a sudden, I had time, and I was doing it every day without fail. And I was like, oh, well, again, being more intentional about, okay, it's 4:30, I'm going to shut my computer off. Like, I'm not going to stay online, to keep working or whatever. Being very intentional about that. And then, so from 4:30 to 5, I'm just going to take a walk around the neighborhood or something. And it's not necessarily because I don't really like the notion of, I don't even want to say that's not the right way of phrasing it, but it's like, I feel like the word exercise comes with expectations and a societal thing of like, oh, you go to the gym and no, I want 30 minutes to an hour to do an activity, whether that's walking around the neighborhood. And I mean, we have weights here. I could do weights. I could do, at home exercises, or I could do whatever, but just intentionally trying to take, that time of, the way I was describing it when I was on FaceTime with my mom was like, if I just think of this as like me time in a way, I think that'd be nice. My body really does benefit from, as silly as it sounds, it does benefit from walking. I think it, more than anything, like, I'm taking it as a mental thing because it forces me to de-stress. Like, I can't do anything while I'm walking other than walk. And I'm listening to music, or I'm thinking about things, but when you're surrounded by nature, and when, you're walking and your heart is pumping blood to your brain, and there's chemicals and things happening, I'm not thinking about, oh, this is due, oh, this person's mad at me, oh, I can't think about those things because your body's forcing you not to in a lot of ways. So, with that being said, I also played pickleball with some friends recently, and that was really silly but really fun.
Right.
That's what I mean by exercise, or by an activity and not exercise. I 100% was exercising during all of that, running up and down the court and hitting a ball, all that stuff. But I wasn't thinking like
it was exercise.
Yeah, no, I was if anything, I was laughing, so I feel like I lost more calories laughing because of how silly it was. Genuinely so silly.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun. I played with someone that I am not necessarily close with, but we very intentionally just said like we're gonna have fun with this. And I was able to have a match with one of our close friends, and he and the girl that they, because it was mixed doubles, so it was a boy and a girl versus a boy and a girl, or me and my partner was a guy, and then we were against another guy and a girl, and that was so like we were laughing so hard because it was just silly and fun, and we were just enjoying. I didn't know how to keep score, but it was something fun to do. And we talked about how, okay, maybe we should do this like once a month, because there's a local, it's an indoor court, which is really nice. So then you don't have to worry about the weather necessarily, while it's cold out or if it's raining or something like that. And I was surprised by how many of our friends were into it. Like there was a pretty decent sized group of us. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Again, it was exercise, but it was an activity. And that's what I want to do more of, is activities and walking, because that helps my mental health.
Yes. I know that the past year you wanted to include us going for a walk after we've eaten, so that it helps our digestion as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we should take on.
You'd come with me?
I mean, we'd have to do it together because we ate together.
That's true.
So
that makes me so happy.
we should intentionally do that.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe not now because it's still cold, but when it starts to warm up a little bit, or when the seasons change, we can do that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be up for that. We also have bikes, or she has a bike and I have a tricycle, and we can get back into do that.
Yes.
Although my tricycle was off of Amazon, I think, and so we had to manually build that, and I don't think it's quite there where it needs to be, but it's
fine.
It's
works.
able to be ridden. I've joked about this with my friends, because the front wheel of my tricycle likes to be misaligned with my handlebars, and so my handlebars may be straight and my wheel may be crooked. Or my wheel may be straight but my handlebars may be crooked, and I literally have to stop the tricycle, hold the wheel between my legs, and then retwist the handlebar so that it's realigned.
It's so funny.
And so my friends have made a lot of jokes about that. They've pulled gifs and videos into our group chat, and they're like, "Hey, this is your bike."
It's your bike.
I'm just like, well,
all bets out of shape.
give you the middle finger. But yes, that's how my bike is, or my tricycle is at the moment.
Yeah.
And so, we could do walking, we could do riding our bikes and trikes. If you want to do pickleball, I mean, I'm not all into that because it's a lot more running and moving around than what I'm used to, because I like to play ping pong.
I was about to say, I'll play ping pong with you, which is something that Chiggy's really, really good at.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'll get into pickleball, but it's something to look at.
Yeah.
I know you're into volleyball too. I'm not, but I'll make the effort to play.
No, I have a volleyball session coming up. Is it next week? I think so, next week. So again, I don't know if it's because everyone's on the January New Year's resolutions kick, but it's like in the last couple of weeks, we've just had a lot of opportunities to do activities, and it's fun.
Yeah, but like I said, you're into volleyball. I'm not. So I'll come out and support, maybe, play around. Yeah. If they would allow us to. Yeah. But I don't think I'll be out there playing my heart out.
Oh yeah, no. Again, this is all for funsies.
Right.
There are people who are competitive, and kudos to them. Love them, support you. Am I competitive? Absolutely not. I am the most anti-competitive, anti-confrontational girly out there. But I'll do it for fun. Yeah. And I'll be there to support.
And then you said that you had bought puzzles.
Yeah.
So we can do that as well. I know that we have a couple of games sitting around that we've purchased within the last year or two that we've never opened up yet.
I was about to say, I also found out that some of those games that we did buy, we don't need a big group of people.
You don't.
Yeah, well, some of them I thought we did, but the expensive one that we bought, we don't need a big group of people. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because our mutual friend has it, and she told me, she was just like, oh no, I play it by myself. I was like, you play it by yourself? So there's and I was like, oh, okay. So we need to play that. There's also a new version of Takedo. We're getting way off topic, but there's a new version of Takedo that I wanted to get, but I opted not to.
We have 2 expansions of it.
We do.
Is it another expansion or is it a completely new game?
It's called Takedo Duos.
Okay.
So it's intentionally for 2 people.
All right. So we can pick that up and play that with our group of friends as well, because we've played the original Takedo with our group of friends.
Yeah. If you're looking for a good board game, Takedo's up there, and what was the other one that's really, really good that we played? I'm not gonna remember it. That'll be for the next episode if I remember it, but
we'll cut that out.
Okay. All that being said, do you have any final thoughts on New Year's resolutions 2025?
I still have one more resolution.
You have another one? Okay, go off.
So
I love this.
Because life right now is so hard. People are struggling to make ends meet. At the end of last year, I started a eBay business.
Okay.
And so I'm reselling things that I have and looking into things that I could buy and resell.
Okay, yeah.
Because I know we went to Dollar General yesterday.
Yes.
And you were trying this couponing thing,
Yeah.
which is also a way that you could resell things as well.
Oh. I never thought of it that way, but yeah.
So you can buy it cheap, try to do that quote unquote extreme couponing, and then, try to resell it somehow online. But for me, I want to continue to make some type of income with this eBay business, reselling the things that I have and things that I find in my local area.
Yeah.
So I've made maybe $300 in profits this past month and a half now, and
It's amazing.
I want to continue to prolong this throughout the entirety of this year, so that I have something to use for our future.
Yeah, I like that. And it's been really nice seeing Chiggy. I'm not into this. Like, I see him doing it. And I think the thing that I've enjoyed the most is seeing how it has made you grow in a lot of ways. I think it's made you grow in the way, like your business acumen, and it's made you grow in how you approach your quote unquote like your customers and stuff. I think your communication has improved a lot. And something that's also really impressive is I feel like you have a drive to learn a lot of things. You were attending Zoom calls and you're part of, different groups of things where you're learning from other people in this business, which is something I've never seen in you before, because I didn't know you when you were a student. So like I haven't seen this side of you before, and it's really lovely to see how you are in a way like you've reintroduced or you've come out again as a student in many things. And I mean, we are all students of life, let's be real. And so seeing this side of you is really fascinating, and it's lovely. Like, I genuinely love seeing you, strive for this type of a thing. And I'm excited. I did not realize that your profits were that high. I knew you had some profits, but I'm glad to see that even a month in, you're already making, decent profits. So
yeah, I do appreciate you saying that. But right now, I'm still in the negative.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but I knew that.
Either way, Like one of my friends said, you need to spend money to make money. So I've spent the money, but now I need to make the money.
Yeah.
So I do have a bunch of things listed that are waiting to be sold. And so I'm just waiting for that to happen for my money to come in. I do also want to add on that with this business venture, it's also going to be a net positive for us as a couple.
Yeah.
Because I know you like to go out and thrift and, look for things to buy as well. But at those opportune times where you like to go out and shop, I like to just sit in the car and wait for you.
Yeah.
And so now that I've gotten to this business venture, I'm going to be out there with you, looking for things to flip onto eBay. And so I remember you saying this 2 days ago, because I went to Home Goods and I wanted to look for something that was at Home Goods, and she was like, I want to go.
I was going to say,
like,
you have
sorry.
no idea. When he said, I want to go to Home Goods, y'all, I was like, since whomst? Since when? And I was like, I was so excited because obviously I love Home Goods because I swear I have it too quickly. I love going to Home Goods because I am a millennial and I'm a girl and pretty things are pretty, but I like that that's how you're looking at it, because you know that these are places that I like to visit or that I like to go to, and so that is something we can do together.
And so that day I went to TJ Maxx, I went to Marshall's, and I went to Home Goods all in the same day.
Yeah.
I didn't know Home Goods had a lot of Hello Kitty or Sanrio things.
To be fair, Hello Kitty's having a moment because her 50th anniversary, she's everywhere, which I love. We love. Hi, girl, we love you. But she's everywhere. Everywhere. It's insane.
So I think we should continue to go out to these places. You can do your thing while you thrift and look for things that, maybe use for crafting, DIYing, sewing. And then I'll do my thing and look for things that I could probably flip and sell on eBay.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a net positive for the both of us. We're going to be spending our time. I'll probably call you and, ask you, hey, does this look something like it could be flipped?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a good thing for the both of us.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I think this is going to be the end of the episode. I do want to give a shout out to a couple of our friends that gave us the comment of changing up our scene, taking out the mic stands and the arms, and holding our mics so that you guys can see our pretty faces. And I think it's going to be a good change for us.
Let us know. Does it look and or sound better?
Yeah. We did change up a couple of other things too with our mics. So I hope at least this episode will come out a bit more clear than the previous ones that you've already listened to. And
always learning, always growing.
Exactly. So yeah, this is going to wrap it up for this episode.
Yeah. So let us know down below. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? If you do, what are they? How are they going? Did you end up quitting on Quitter's Day? And even if you did, no worries. You can pick it up back again, or maybe you just need to realign and make your goals a little bit more realistic or something that makes sense for you. And let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.